Hello everyone. Today I will tell you about the basic accounting terms and the rules of debit and credit. So when we come to the basic accounting terms that we are going to use frequently, few of them I will be telling you now. First one is assets. Now what do you mean by assets? Assets are those belongings. It may be buildings, it may be lands, it may be in cash, right, that the owner is going to use in the business for the purpose of productions or manufacturing. Right, now you may say that is the capital, but the assets will be particularly used for the business only, right, and the owner or the entrepreneurs, proprietors who are going to use their assets, use whatever they have in the form of cash, in the form of buildings, in the form of any other machines, that will be considered as the capital. Now when we come to the term as assets, they are going to be classified into fixed assets, current assets. So what is fixed assets? Fixed assets are those that are going to be used for a long term in the business. For example, plant and machinery. For example, land and buildings. For example, furnitures that we are going to use in the organization. They are all fixed assets that we are going to use for more than 5 years. Current assets are those assets which are going to be converted into sallables or converted into cash within one financial year. They are known as the current assets. For example, stock, that is the goods or that we are going to use. So the stock are the assets that we are going to convert into the sellable products within one financial year. They are the current assets. Now tangible assets. Now tangible assets are those assets which have physical existence. That is the tangible, which you can touch, feel, see, right? They are the tangible assets. Simultaneously, intangible assets are those that they are assets but still we cannot see them. They don't have any physical existence, as in your goodwill, right? Your goodwill, your copyright, patent, they are all your assets. Now comes the liabilities. Now what do you mean by liabilities? Liabilities are the amounts which the business owes to the outsiders. For example, you have taken a loan from the bank and now you need to pay it to the bank. Obviously you will have to pay it to the bank. That is your liability. Now you need to pay salaries to your employees. That will be your liability, right? So in liabilities also we have classification as fixed, long-term liabilities and current liabilities. Long-term liabilities which you are supposed to pay within a span of, for example, 5 years, or you will have a long time period to pay them off, right? For example, a financial loan that has been taken by you to expand your business or for any other purpose, that has to be paid off maybe within 10 years or within 15 years. So they are your long-term liabilities. Current liabilities in the similar context with the current assets, you will have to pay them off within one financial year. For example, your creditors, right? Your outstanding wages or any outstanding expenses that you have, outstanding salaries, maybe outstanding your rent, outstanding insurance premium, all those has to be paid within one financial year. So that is your current liabilities. Now comes the capital. As I told you already about the capital is whatever the owner, in terms of the owner will always have a stake in that, right? At the time of winding up or liquidation of the organization, the owner will be claiming the equal amount of the capital that he has invested in the business, right? So that is your capital. Now, how you can, from this we can come down to the accounting equation. Accounting equation is assets is equals to liabilities plus capital, right? So from there we can derive what capital is. Capital will be, capital is equals to assets minus liabilities, right? Now, next term that we are going to frequently use in our accounting process or while preparing the accounts, that is expenses. Now, what is expenses? Expenses are the cost that you have incurred, right, that you have incurred while for the manufacturing process or the for the productions of your goods that you are going to sell to the customer and you are going to earn the money, right? That is your expense. Now, what is your income? For example, you produce a stationery product, right, and you have incurred some expenses or cost to manufacture that product. When you will sell all your products, you will generate some money, that is the revenue. Okay, now when your revenue is excess your income, that excess part is known as the income. Revenue is excess your expenses, sorry, then it is your income. So how you can calculate the income? Income will be revenue minus expenses. That is the equation that you will form in the for the income. Now, expenditure. Now, expenditure and expenses are almost, you can say, similar in context, right? So expenditure is the amount that you have spent or that is that you are liable to spend to carry out the business. Now, expenditure can be classified into two different categories, that is capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. Capital expenditures are those that are going to be done in a once in a while to the business with an aim or objective of expansion of the production capacity of the business, right? For example, if you have bought a machinery that will be used in the production process for a longer period of time, right, and which will expand your production capacity, which will expand your earning capacity of the business, then it will be a capital expenditure, right? Along with the installation of the machine, you are not going to install the machine regularly, you are not going to install the machine every financial year. So these are the expenditures which are going to be done once in a while to expand your production capacity or to increase your revenue earning capacity of the business, is known as the capital expenditure. Revenue expenditure in the same context are the expenses or the expenditures which are incurred in one financial year or every financial year to maintain the capital or maintain the production capacity, right? For example, maintenance of a building, right? You have a land and you have a building that you use as a factory for the business. Okay, so that building has to be maintained. You need to do some cleaning of the building once in a year. You need to go for whitewashing or painting or any other sort of repairing of the building to maintain it, so that the building can be used for a longer time period as a factory, right? To increase the life of the asset, right? Those expenditures are known as revenue expenditures. Now comes the revenue. As I've already told you, for example, you have sold goods worth rupees, say 1 lakh, and you have generated or earned a revenue of say suppose 1,50,000. So whatever you have collected as the money, whatever you have done as collection as your sales, they all are considered as your revenue. Now, out of this 1,50,000, what you have collected, you are going to clear off your expenses, you are going to pay off your dues, you are going to pay off your liabilities. Whatever will be left will be considered as the income. Right? Now comes to debtor. Very important, debtor and creditor. Now, who are your debtor? For example, now in this today's competitive environment, we need to sell our product in credit also. Maybe that means to those buyers who will not be paying you right now or instantly. They will be paying you after certain time period, right? Those are your debtors from whom you are going to collect the money later. Simultaneously, creditor are those that you need to pay them, you have not paid. For example, you have purchased raw material from your supplier, and you have told that I will be paying you after a month of 2, or after 2 months I will be paying you. Right now, you are the suppliers are your creditors, right? And you will be the debtor for the suppliers. So that is debtor and creditor. Now, stock or inventory, very important, and we are going to use this term throughout your accounting process. Stock or inventory are the raw materials. It could be work in progress, it could be or intermediary goods, or it could be of finished goods also, right? Though all those material or all those stock that you are going to maintain to avoid the untimely requirement, to avoid the stoppage of your productions or manufacturing process, you will keep them in a inventory, or you will keep them as a stock, right? So that is your stock or inventory. And your stock or inventory has to be converted into sellable products within 1 financial year. That is your stock or inventory, right? Now comes the sale. What is sale? The term is used for the sale only for the goods that your business is dealing with, right? If you sell maybe the assets that you are not going to use, that will not be considered as the sale of the business, right? So if you produce or manufacture stationery products and you have sold or you are selling those stationery products regularly, then it will be considered as your sale. Now, loss. What is loss? It is very general concept or a general term we use in our life. What is loss? Loss is the deficit of the earnings. As in, for example, you have expenditure, you have done some expenses in the manufacturing of the stationery product, but unfortunately or due to some causes, you are not able to earn at not even the amount that you have invested. So it means you are in a loss. For example, take it as an example, as for example, you have sold a good worth rupees 10,000 and you have earned it rupees 8,000, right? So there is a deficit. Your expenses or cost is more than your income of 2,000. 10,000 minus 8,000. Now, what is profit? Profit will be the opposite of it. If you have sold the goods worth rupees 10,000 at rupees 12,000, means you have earned some excess money than the cost or expenses that you have incurred. That is 2,000. 12,000 minus 10,000, which will be 12,000. When your sale is more or in excess than whatever the expenses you have done, that is known as your profit. Now, another term, that is depreciation. That is very important. What is depreciation? Depreciation is the decrease in the value of the assets. If one asset, let us suppose a machinery is there and we are using it regularly in the manufacturing process. With the passage of time, it will lose its value. There will be wear and tear of the machinery. There will be any sort of decrease in the capacity of operations of the machinery, right? There will be new machinery in the market which you will have to install and which will be more valuable. So in that cases, the value of the machinery will decrease, the life of the machinery will decrease. That is known as depreciation, which is very important term in the accounts. Now I will be telling you about the rules of debit and credit, which is also a very important aspect of your accounts. Sorry. Now, before we get into the rules of debit and credit, there are two methods that will help you to understand and classify the different types of accounts, right? First one is the traditional approach. In traditional approach, all the accounts are divided into three categories: personal, real and nominal. right? Now, what are personal accounts? Personal accounts are those that represents a organization, a company, an entity, right? A human being. For example, my bank account will be a personal account. Company's accounts, ABC company, that company's account will be a personal account. Okay. Now, real account are those of tangible assets that you can touch, that you can feel, that you can see, those assets. For example, cash, for example, purchases, for example, furnitures, for example, any type of machines that you are using, which are tangible in nature. Those accounts are known as real accounts. Nominal accounts, all expenses and losses and all incomes and gains are considered as the nominal accounts. Fine. For example, Mr. Sham will be considered as a personal account. Your purchases will be considered as your real account, and salary will be considered as your expense account. Right? Now, in the case of personal account, we have an exception. For example, only salary will be considered as an expenses. Outstanding salary will be considered as a personal account. Okay, means when there is a suffix or prefix that gets added with an expense, it becomes a representative personal account. Okay, now comes the rules. In personal accounts, the rule is always debit the receiver and credit the giver. In real account, the rule will be debit what comes in and credit what goes out. In nominal account, the rule will be debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. Okay. Now, let's take an example. For example, Mr. Rohan started business with 10,000 as cash. A small little business. He has just started with 10,000 rupees as cash. So there are two accounts that is involved. One is the Mr. Sohan and the other one is the cash. Okay. So cash being tangible will be considered as a real account, and Mr. Sohan, as he has invested some money, it will be considered as the personal account. Okay. So like this, first you need to identify or classify the accounts. Then on the basis of when you will learn to classify the accounts, when you will be you have done the classification of the accounts, then you will be easily applying the rules of the accounts. Okay. Now comes the modern approach of classification of accounts. According to the modern approach of classification of accounts, we have assets, expenses, liabilities, capital and revenue. There are 5 categories of accounts: assets, liabilities, expenses, capital and revenue. Now, the rules of assets. Increase in assets will be credited, decrease in assets will be debited. The same rule will be applied to the expenses. Increase in expenses will be debited, decrease in expenses will be credited. In the terms of for capital, revenue and liabilities, the rules will be increase in capital will be credited and decrease in capital will be debited. Increase in liability will be credited and decrease in liability will be debited. Simultaneously, increase in revenue will be credited and decrease in revenue will be debited. Right? So, these are some of the golden rules. These are also known as the golden rules of debit and credit, that you will have to understand clearly how you will be able to apply them. Right? For example, let us take another example. I will advise all of you to pause the videos according to your convenience and take notes. Okay? So, according to, let us take an example. Purchase of goods worth rupees 20,000 in cash. So you need to classify the accounts. Purchase of goods worth rupees 20,000 in cash. Accounts involved are cash and purchases that are considered as the stock. Okay, now both are your tangible accounts or real accounts, right? Cash is going out because you need to pay for the goods that you are purchasing and goods that are coming in. So what are the rules of your real account? Real account rules are debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So you need to debit the account of your purchase and you need to credit the account of the cash because cash is going out. So how you are going to record or write it as purchase account debit to cash account. Okay, in our next lecture I will be explaining you in detail how to write the journal entries or how to record the journal entries. Hopefully you have taken the notes and you have understood the lectures as in basic accounting terms and the rules of debits and credit. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel to get follow-up lectures. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.